welcome to Todd Does It, and today I'm going to be building a lifetime picnic table from Costco. So you can see it right here, folding picnic table, and just a nice little picnic table here. So first step is going to be on the big top piece. You're going to take all these little 5 screws that are here on both sides and take that little rail piece out. And keep the screws to the side and just keep the rails off to the side as well. Just went ahead and removed the rails on both sides of the piece here so you can see the rails. You'll end up with about 10 screws, so keep those 10 screws off to the side. So the next step is a 2-step process, it looks like, but the first it involves this piece here, and you'll have a second piece. But you're going to use these straps right here, and there's Velcro. You'll disconnect the Velcro and lay it out so the Velcro is on top, just like it shows right here in the steps. So follow the steps, you'll see that piece there as well as the Velcro strap. You'll have the little metal loop up on top and the Velcro strap as well. Okay, the next step itself takes 2 people. Again, see the directions, 2 little people there, 1.3. So it's a little confusing here, but I'll kind of show you the setup here. It shows you a little bit better in the picture this way, but when I get the second person to help me, they can do it. But what you'll see is these little pieces come straight up, so they'll be on the inside of the table, as well as the latch mechanism you'll be able to see on top. You set the little bracket piece from there into those little grooves, and then this little piece, they'll be into this little groove part right here. So you'll do that, and then you'll connect them for both sides. I haven't set the other part up yet, so when I get my other assistant, then I'll show you how to do that. Alright, so I was going through the directions a little bit again, and then they were a little confusing. So what I realized is you only need to take one of the rails out. You don't have to take the second rail out too. So you'll only have 5 screws left over in a rail at the first step. So hopefully you watched the whole video first before you started to try to build it. So you do that, so then that way this one bracket can go right into the one hole there, and that other hole will be for the other end of that big guy. So, and you'll do the same thing on the other side as well. So after you get everything kind of lined up and all the pieces in appropriately, again where the little piece like that is pointing up, you'll have the little metal bracket like this on both ends. You get them kind of set up like that. This is part of the reason why you'll need a second person, is you got to put this rail with all the holes into or around this little edge on all 4 of these little slots, or for the little posts. So then you'll screw it all back into the same part where you unscrewed it with those 5 little bolts. Alright, once you get everything kind of lined up and put in the different holes across on both sides, so across there, and then the part that you already had the screw in, you kind of fold it up. I found it's a little bit easier doing it that way. And then you'll just push down on the part and put your screws back in the holes on each of the sides. So you'll have 5 screws that'll go in over there. So that last step that I just did, where you have to reinsert these screws here after you get what they call the J channel back in, it's going to be real hard if you're doing it by hand with a screwdriver. You'll probably need an electric or a cordless drill with a little bit, because sometimes the holes don't exactly line up and you kind of have to force it. The next step here, 1.6, you're going to need these things, the BWI 2X or X2. Next step says to take the bench piece here, just kind of set the bench part alongside the bracket. So here's the whole table, set it here, and you'll use 2 of these little pieces. They're called sliding brackets or something, or caps, and you just put them on the ends here, and then you'll slide that into these 2 little rails here. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll show you what happens. When you're building your picnic table, just make sure you don't have your kids around, otherwise you have to deal with this. So the next step here is you're going to pick up the sides all the way up on both ends. Do that, as well as on the other side. sometimes it'll fall, so just gotta be careful, otherwise your pieces will come apart. So I'll try it again. Alright, I found that it's not the easiest thing to do it by yourself, so that if you kind of set it up this way, so you have the one side up and the other side down, you're going to take this bracket here and connect it over to that piece there, and that will be with these little black little nuts and bolts. So I'll do that, and I'll do the other side and show you how it looks. Alright, there you go. So that step's done. All the pieces are up. Easiest way to do it is just one side at a time. Put the bolt in and hand tighten it first, and then after you do that, you found that if you use a little ratchet with a 10mm and an adjustable wrench, the wrench on the inside, the ratchet on the outside, it tends to work a little bit easier. So do that on both sides. Some of you, as you're building it, are probably wondering how you keep this piece from sliding off. Well, look, if you 8 of these bolts that you'll put on, and there's little holes kind of down there, you'll see, and you'll just connect it right in there on all the sides, all around. So 2 on each part, on each rail part. So 8 total on, or 4 total on each bench, and 8 total. So I'll put those in. So that wasn't the easiest step to do. You had to go in, you had to punch through those screws right down in there. Not an easy angle, but if you have the electric drill or cordless drill, it's going to be a lot easier. So you just have to push hard until you punch through, because the holes are not pre-drilled. So you do it on all 4 sections, and you'll be good. So after that step, the table is fully assembled. I'll show you how to break it down, and I'll show you how to secure it for storage. And then, alright, a couple things before you flip it over. Right here, these are your locks. One thing is you want to make sure that that piece is connected right in there. Also, when you're done, you want to collapse it and push it down. The side collapses, releases, comes down. And do it on the other side as well. So push it down, it'll release. Just be careful with your fingers. Push it all the way down. And then you were wondering probably why there's these Velcro straps here. So what you do is you feed it under, come back around this way, and you can just Velcro yourself. Velcro it on. It tells you the wrong way to do it, so I might have to take it apart if I really need to. But you just Velcro it shut like that. I guess you have to twist it around. Not the easiest way to do it, so I think they kind of said the wrong thing to do. But I'll figure it out and I'll mess around with it. So, but it Velcros it, so when you pick it up, this whole piece doesn't come apart. So, it took me a minute or two to figure it out, but you take the piece and go under and over and around, and then you go through the little metal loop here. Got to be kind of on the underside, and that's how you will secure it. So you push this here, this piece goes down through here, pull it tight, and then Velcro it back up there, and then that won't let you pick it up, so you can keep it. You'll do it with the other side as well. So, and that's if you want to store it, and then you'll have the whole piece right here that you can tip up. So I'll go ahead and flip it over then, and you can see what the completed table looks like. So that's what the finished table looks like. Looks nice, pretty easy to put together. I'd say altogether it maybe took me 45 minutes or so if I wasn't doing this video. One thing before your family decides to sit on it, it says you can fit 8 people comfortably. I'm not quite sure. I'd say maybe 6, 8 people if you got a bunch of small kids. But one thing is, down here you have this little sliding piece. You want to make sure that's down. This keeps the table from collapsing when you're sitting on it. You'll have 2, 1 on each side. And then also here's your straps that are right there. I just kind of tied them up a little bit to kind of keep them out of the way so the kids don't mess with them. You also have a little umbrella piece here. So if you want, you can pull that out and put your umbrella in. I don't, so I'm just going to put it back in there. So here's your table. It says it's called a lifetime table. Maybe that's just the name, but we'll see. I'll let you guys know as the time progresses how it turns out. Seems like it's in pretty good condition. Table's probably not going to scratch up because it's a little roughed up as it is. Kind of looks like fake wood, but nice table so far. Alright, thanks for watching Todd Does It, and please subscribe, like, and do whatever else you need so I can do more of these videos. Thanks, appreciate it. Bye.